Hi everyone, this video is going to be book related as the title suggests, and the reason I've decided to do this is just because I've been really enjoying reading lately, and I am a big reader, but at the same time I kind of go through phases of reading loads and then not reading very much at all, so it is kind of hard to kind of organise this video. And another reason is because I've just moved to a new place. A lot of the books are still at home with my mum, and I haven't got them all with me. And to be honest, I'm not really a big buyer of books. I tend to kind of go to libraries and things like that, just because I like kind of being able to go to libraries and to just look around, and I like that kind of feeling. So some of these are obviously kind of not really that exciting story-wise, because a lot of the ones are ones that I've already read and probably wouldn't read again, so I have given them away or lent them to people. Lent them to people is normally the case with me. I lend people a book and then I completely forget about it. But I'm just going to kind of talk you through some of the books that I really like, some that I didn't like, my style of books and that kind of thing. So I have got very versatile style in books. I love crime books, so things like Harlan Coben. I think I'm saying that right. I never know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but I love all his books. He's a really good writer. I don't like John Grisham books because I feel like they're more like just a court transcript than a story, if you know what I mean. So I don't really like John Grisham books. But things like Harlan Coben and kind of mystery crime books, I do really enjoy those. And I like reading that kind of quite violent, graphic type of book, because it kind of shocks you, but it does it in a way, whereas in a film you'd have to look away. In a book you're kind of compelled to keep reading, so I quite like that. I've got 3 books here that I would consider my important books. Now, by important books, I mean a book that has made an impact on you, that has made you think of something or changed your opinion about something. And the first book is one by a journalist, and I'll put her link or her Twitter name in the description box, because I follow her on Twitter and she's got really amusing tweets. And it's Kathleen Moran, I think I'm saying that right again, and this book is called How to Be a Woman, and this is what it looks like, and I will read the back to you. It's I won't read kind of the top little scrolly bits because that doesn't really matter, but it says, "There's never been a better time to be a woman. We have the vote and the pill. We haven't been burnt as witches since 1727. Sorry, not 19. However, a few niggling questions do remain. Why are we supposed to get Brazilians? Should we have Botox? Do men secretly hate us? What should you call your vagina? Does your bra hurt? And does everyone ask when you're going to have a baby?" And it's basically a very funny take on a feminist opinion. And it says here that Nigella Lawson really rates this book, and so does Jonathan Ross, who are 2 people that I really rate. And it's a very funny book. It's written in quite crude language, but it's done in a very kind of provocative way that makes you think, as opposed to just being kind of strong-minded and feminist. This does make you think, and it kind of makes you laugh, but you're kind of taking it in quite seriously at the moment. So the chapter about Brazilian waxes is really amazing, and there's another chapter where she compares Jordan, Katie Price, to Lady Gaga, and that's a really interesting sort of comparison, and it is a really great book, really funny, and I would really recommend it to anyone. The second one is probably my all-time favourite book. This is my favourite book in the world. I've read this loads of times, and it doesn't get better than this for me. And this is The Time Traveller's Wife, and I can't explain why I love this book so much, but I just love it to bits, and I'll read the back for you. It says, "This is the extraordinary love story of Claire and Henry, who met when Claire was 6 and Henry was 36, and were married when Claire was 22 and Henry was 30. Impossible but true, because Henry suffers from a rare condition where his genetic clock resets and he finds himself pulled suddenly into his past or future. In face of this force, they can neither prevent nor control. Henry and Claire struggle to lead normal lives in both intensely moving and entirely unforgettable. And this is a really, really, really beautiful written novel, and the kind of their relationship in this book is just so amazing, because at the same time it's quite a normal relationship, but they're faced with something so big and so immense that it's really difficult to control. And it is just one of the most amazing stories. There's a film of it as well, but the film doesn't give a true interpretation of the book, and it is a really, really, really beautiful book, and I love it to bits. And then the next one that I think is an important book is called The Red Tent. This is a very, very controversial book, because this is based on an author who is kind of trying to twist one of the stories in the Bible and say what she thinks really happens, but she does kind of say that it's just a story. But the way this is written is really, really, really beautiful, elegant writing, really, really full of beautiful descriptions, and very, very soft and gentle, and very, very womanly. It's a very woman's book, and I'll read you the back of it. It says, her name is Dina. In the Bible, her life was only hinted to in a brief and violent chapter within the most familiar chapters about her father Jacob and his dozen sons in the book of Genesis. Told in Dina's voice, this novel reveals the traditions and turmoil of ancient womanhood, the world of the Red Tent. It begins with a story of her mothers, Leah, Rachel, and I can't pronounce the other two, the poor wives of Jacob. They love Dina and give her gifts that are to sustain her through a hard-working youth, a calling to midwifery, and a new home in a foreign land. Dina's story reaches out as a remarkable period of early history and creates an intimate, immediate connection. Deeply affecting, The Red Tent combines rich storytelling with vulnerable achievements in modern fiction, a new view of biblical women's society. And that pretty much sums it up. It is a very, very woman's book, and it is the type of book that I think every woman should read at some point. It's a really, really beautifully written book, and just very, very telling about women in that time, and it is a really, really amazing book, so I can't recommend that enough. And I bought this on Amazon actually, which is where I buy a lot of my books, because they're really inexpensive, but this was £2, so it's really great. Then, moving swiftly forward, I have got a few books here that are just kind of silly, fun books that I do quite like to read occasionally. Like if I'm on a flight or something, these are the types of books that I tend to go for, as opposed to something quite serious. So we've got I Heart New York, which is seriously like chick flick, literature. But it's about a girl who breaks up with her boyfriend after she catches him cheating on her, and she runs off to New York, and she wants to be a writer. It's very Sex and the City-esque, a really easy read. I could read that all in one flight, but it's sweet and it's kind of quite funny. Then we've got Does My Bum Look Big in This?, which is a really, really funny book. It's kind of like Bridget Jones, but not as funny, kind of a more neurotic Bridget Jones, but it's quite entertaining, and if you like that kind of funny literature, then this is a nice one. And then we've got Last Night at the Chateau Marmont, which is from the same woman who wrote The Devil Wears Prada, which I really liked as well. And this is about a woman whose husband becomes a rock star, and she's kind of trying to fit in, and it's a really cute little story. Again, great for like easy reading. So if you like that kind of thing, that's great. And I also really, really, really love, you're going to think this is funny, but I love the Harry Potter films. So I obviously love the books even more, and I've read all the Harry Potter books. I kind of want to read them again though, but I've read all of those and I really, really love them. Then I've got three books here that I have read recently and I really enjoyed. The first one is One Day, which I'm sure you've all heard of. It's very, very famous. They've just made, they made a film about it a while ago with Anne Hathaway, and it's a really, really cute kind of story about this couple who are meant to be together but can never quite get it together, and when they do, you're really happy for them and you just hope nothing goes wrong. But it's a really, really, really nice book, and it's actually, it seems like it's quite a shallow book, but it isn't. It's a very, very nice book. It's very well written and I really, really enjoyed it. Then we've got a book that I featured in my favourites video called The Ice Cream Girls, which I really enjoyed as well. I bought this from the pound shop, just sort of picked it up on a whim, but it was actually a really, really good read and I really recommend it. It's kind of a little bit crimey, a little bit kind of, it's not really romantic, I suppose, but it's a really, really nice book, and it was very surprising. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. And then I've got one here which I really, really enjoyed, called The 19th Wife. And I'll read the back of this to you because this was really, really interesting. It says, for the first time in 6 years, Jordan returns from California to Utah to visit his mother in jail, a young boy when he was expelled from his family's secretive polygamous Mormon sect. Now his father has been found shot dead in front of his computer, and one of his many wives, Jacob's mother, is accused of the crime. Over a century earlier, Anna Elizabeth Young, 19th wife of Brigham Young, second prophet of the Mormon Church, tells the sensational story of how she battled for her freedom from her powerful husband to lead a crusade and end polygamy in the United States. Bold, shocking and gripping, The 19th Wife expertly weaves together these two narratives in a exhilarating epic of love, family, murder and faith. And this is a really, really good read. I finished this in about 3 days after I got it because I couldn't put it down. It was that good. It was just really, really, really interesting. And I love that kind of story. Like, for example, if you've seen the TV series, I think it's finished now, called Big Love, then that was about polygamy, and I don't know why, but I find that really, really intriguing. I don't want to be, you know, a plural wife or anything, and I don't support it, but I just find it a really, really interesting topic, so I really, really enjoyed reading it. And it was a really, really fascinating book, and I think it gives quite a true description of what it's probably like. So I really recommend that. And then I've got one here that's been raved about a lot lately, and I'm just about to start it, and it's called Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson. And it says, memories define us, so what if you lost yours every time you went to sleep? Your name, your identity, your past, even the people you love are forgotten overnight, and the one person you trust may only be telling you half of the story. Welcome to Christine's life. I haven't started this yet, like I said, but I've seen it in a lot of papers and on a lot of kind of talk shows it's been mentioned, so I'm excited to keep reading that. But a few other kind of books that I've read and really enjoyed that I can just think of off the top of my head that I probably don't own are, I think there was one called, is it Many Splendid Suns, I think it was called, and it was by the same woman who wrote The Kite Runner. I think it was a woman who wrote it. I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I did read this a few years ago, but The Kite Runner was a really, really, really good book. 10 times better than the film. If you've seen the film, read the book because it's really, really powerful. And 1,000 Splendid Suns is really, really, really moving. Again, it's a very woman-y type of book, and I love those types of books where they kind of make you feel proud to be a woman. Those are just really my kind of storylines. I don't know why, it's just really what I enjoy. So I really, really enjoyed that, and it was just a really, really great book. And the Kite Runner, I think, was previous to that book, and that was a really, really great one as well. So definitely check out the Kite Runner and 1,000 Splendid Suns. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I'll write it in the description box anyway. But that was a really great book. And another one that I really enjoyed, I think, was called Kabul's Beauty School. It wasn't as good as 1,000 Splendid Suns, but it was very, very interesting. And I, again, like those types of stories about that kind of women in that place and the kind of heritage behind it. I just find it really, really interesting. And yeah, I know a few of you are going to say, you know, why don't you read The Hunger Games or Twilight? But to be honest with you, I like trash TV and I like kind of quite rubbish films. But with books, I tend to kind of not gravitate towards those type of books just because I don't know, it's just not really my cup of tea. I tend to like more sort of serious books because I just feel like you're really learning something when you read them and they kind of make more of an impact on you. So, you know, I like the Twilight films, but I don't think I'm that interested in reading the books. So, yeah, that's that. But if based on the books I have mentioned, there are any books that you really enjoyed, or you want to ask me something about any of the books I mentioned, or recommend any books that you think I would like, then pop them in the comments below, and I will see you all soon. Bye bye.